Nicht? So we start again where we want.
It's narcissistic.
Narcissistic, yeah. So first of all, what does narcissistic mean?
Whatever it is, we love it.
You're saying that it means stuck in itself, but not really knowing yourself. Not really connected to yourself.
Not connected to yourself, not connected to your surroundings, and you want it your way, let's call it that way. And then, automatically, as I say, either we take off all... I was sitting with someone before, and I gave him an idea. He wanted to know what to do, so I said, "Go to this place and do a test, and we'll see where we go from there." He says, "Okay, so what now? What do you want me to go for you?" That means he's not ready to move, not ready to merge. Go for me, do for me, say for me. That means all I can give you is the way how the rules just said. I can give you the ways how to work with it, but then you have to start working. Then you have a lot of obstacles on the way. You have to get out of your laziness. You have to get moving. You have to be accepting that you have, and accept that you don't have, and he has to give you. It's a whole thing. But then you'll be connected to yourself. You'll be connected to Muslim. You'll be connected to everybody, because everybody can help you with that. But as long as I'm still busy with myself, then I'm the one who's going to run the show the way I want to. That is narcissistic. And here, at the end of the day, you're not going to run the way you want it. You'll always have to surrender to the sibis, we call that. You'll always have to see, in order to connect to yourself. What's yourself? Yourself is the neshama, not the goof. So I told him we're going to speak about two things.
Can I ask another follow-up question?
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, mate.
Someone can be thinking about themselves and so-called connecting to their Ribbono Shel Olam, but still never go out of themselves to help somebody else out, or to think about what somebody else might need. So they're connecting to themselves, they're connecting to their Ribbono Shel Olam, when they're triggered, and then they connect it back to wherever they need to connect it back to. But they're still stuck in themselves and never go out and help somebody else out. Isn't that
right? So that means, so that implies why?
Why?
Because he thinks that in order to connect myself to others, we'll call it, I have to take off something for myself. What's the fame shine is there, same shine. It's the same where all the everybody has his what's the fame? Face or everyone has his how it looks, and the same thing is that there's something that cannot. Can you put me? Where's the finish line? That means I'm sorry, where were we?
Someone who can help, doesn't help different people but himself.
That's right. Why doesn't a person go out helping others? There's always obstacles in the way. Obstacles that I have to get something off of myself. That means in order to meet to somebody, I have to go out of my way, out of my comfort, out of my thoughts, and try to find where we meet. So there are things that we will never meet, we'll never understand each other's. There are things that we can understand, and there are things that I don't want to understand. It's emotional. Now this is a big, but the truth is, this helps me to connect to myself.
connecting to helping others can help?
No, connecting to others helps me to connect to myself. I cannot connect myself if I don't connect to others. Says the moral, why? Because as long as I'm only busy with myself, that means myself is my chelik elakai, is my seichel, we'll call it, my cognitive, we'll call it. This cognitive doesn't come from myself. This cognitive comes from all the way up. But the Kodesh Baruch Hu gave into everybody a certain amount of understanding, and it's just like you buy a new and you get a battery full, and if you use it out, you use it out. And if you only have these functions, you're not going to get new functions. In order to change the functions, in order to get new batteries and new things, you have to connect yourself to life, you have to connect yourself to electricity, you have to connect them, and things are changing all the time. So when a person takes in the chiyas that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave him, it's called, there's a bor mayim, there's a be'er mayim. Bor mayim means in every chutz in Yerushalayim there was not a well,
A pit.
What? A pit that they had water in the chotzer that came up from the rainwater, and they has to keep exterminating it and washing it and keeping it fresh, and couldn't be just left there. And there's a well which is called a be'er, so that changes all the time. They have all the mayan, it's running all the time. That means we have to, because Baruch Hu creates us, He gave us a be'er mind. He gives us life, He gives everything in there, and everything's in there. But if you don't connect to the Wi-Fi, you're still working on Word, or how did the Word? We didn't call it Word. What we call the first one? The 4 Windows one.
DOS.
DOS. You're still working on DOS, and you never connect yourself, or you never brought up that you never updated it. That means the updating actually. The updating means that Kodesh Baruch Hu will find this week that the first mitzvah that Kodesh Baruch Hu gives us when we go out of Mitzrayim is a chodesh hazeh lochem. Now, what's so important about that? We're in Mitzrayim. We have to get out of there. We're slaves. We're having a hard time. And we'll talk about the calendar when we meet next time. It doesn't have to be on the first. There was a yeshiva in America. It was called a Avutna. Avutna is just, we meet a bocher. Right away, the bocher wanted to speak and learning, so that Avutna, you know who he is. So Avutna is to say, but the first hello, we don't speak and learning yet. Understand? The first hello, let's not speak about chodesh now. Let's tachlis, get us out of here, and then we'll start talking about chodesh. What is Mitzrayim? Mitzrayim is actually mi Hashem asher melekor. Mitzrayim is actually disconnecting you, putting yourself into the center, into how do you call it before? I forgot that. Narcissism. Me, only me, and I own the world, and everything is me. And you disconnect actually from the source that's giving you the koiches. So what happens is it's called a bor mind. When it's a bor mind, there is no ischatches. Because Baruch Hu says, "Hachodesh hazeh lochem," is talking about the ischatches. I have to bring you back. Because as long as you're not going to go into ischatches, it means you see the moon goes up, goes down. But the sun, there is no ischatches. The sun is all the time. Same sun is burning, it's just going over to the other side. But the moon is chadushim, that is monster is dark, and monster is light, half a month and half a month, and it's always coming nothing and coming again. That gives a person scratches. Something that's monotony. It's just monotony, has to say always.
Monotony,
right? Monotonous, the same thing. That's English, I think. No?
It's like level. Monotony just means no change.
That becomes if you ever were in the hospital when the thing is straight, it's as good as it is. when the heart stops going this way and it goes that way, that's a big problem. That means as long as things are changing all the time, you're alive. I say that there was a vision to Rabi. He had a coma. He went into a coma and became had a stroke, as we call it. And he wasn't able to take care of it. He was in bed. And it came Pesach. And they were making Pesach, but since he wasn't healthy, so they saw that it should be quiet in the house, and they started making Pesach all over. But his room, they didn't, they always saw it should be made when he's not there, or whatever it is. So suddenly, before Pesach says, I can't take it, it's coming Pesach, and I'm sitting here. Take my bed with me, take me in, take me out, do something with me. I should know that it's also Pesach today. That means a person that's in the same place, monotonous, you say, is actually, there's no Chaim. The whole Chaim wird mal verfuhren, übergehalten. So come back where I was. That means we you remind me where I was? You have to remember where I was, otherwise I go off. That means as long as I'm busy with myself, I'm a ball mind. There will be no schatches. The Maral explains it, that the seichel that you get is actually in a jail. It's in a
what?
Jail. Confinement. It's in a body. The body uses it as for its source purposes, and the body is something bounded, is something mugbal, it's limited, and when you're taking the seichel is something unlimited, and you're also limiting. Since you're not when you connect yourself to the Baruch, you're actually unlimited thoughts, but you have a problem. Your body cannot take unlimited thoughts. You take a thought by a time. But if you never connect yourself at all, so it's the same. If you know people that are living till today, they're still in the corona. That was 3 years ago. They didn't get out of it yet. Why? Because they didn't refresh. They didn't connect it. Actually, that he knew himself. He didn't change the process of what new things that there was new opportunities out there. You were able to get in avoidance Hashem and business, whatever it is, but you had to go along. There's someone that was surfing, when it comes to this, he says you have to leave and let the wave take you. But as long as you want to stay the way you want, you're not ready to take the zach, then it's going to kill you. That's all it's going to do to you. That means a person that lives on himself, is not ready to connect to others, actually, says the Maral, he doesn't get his scotches. Number 2, he says he becomes a tippish, stupid person, whatever it is. And at the end, he's a choite too, because he doesn't have any koiches, has no strength, has no thing to help him go that way. That means as long as I'm not ready to renew, refresh, reconnect all the time to the source of mine, then I'm there. So says the Maral, the only way a person can refresh is not because he decides he wants to refresh, because he wants to refresh again. His mind is still in the jail, in the confinement, in the body. Once he speaks to somebody, so as I told you before, I'd be more happy that you ask me what do you want to talk. So then I have to start refining what I'm going to talk about. I can't start talking about children right now, and I can't start talking about Schmidt. You find me at a certain point, and this certain point I also have to find ways what you want to hear. I cannot talk to you things that you want to hear, but I have to stay myself too, and I have to connect to you. So we have a triple task here. I have to be you, I have to be myself, you have to be you, I have to be myself, and we have to find how to do it. That's called, the Maral calls it seichel hanivdal. I have to start using some source outside of my thoughts. That is a person learning Torah, and learns it seichel hanivdal. Nivdal. Right now, the seichel that what you're thinking about is connected to you. Seichel hanivdal is something that's coming from outside into you. But if I'm only busy with myself and learning for myself, even learning Gemara, whatever you're doing, you're not doing it with a chavrusa, it's cherev el abadim. The Gemara says, oy chavisa, oy mesisa. Why? Because as long as you're taking, my father say, you learn a Musa Sefer, and you'll see on every page, this guy's not okay, this guy's not okay, this guy's not okay. And when it comes to a page that's really talking about you, the 2 pages will stick one to another. You won't even see it. That means a person will never go out of his way of seichel hanivdal. There is something beyond. In the they call chutz lakufsa, going out of the box. And another person, when I sit with another person, actually that's what starts going out of my box.
So the mice what the Rebbe is saying is when the Rebbe, back to this question, when the Rebbe is talking about selfishness, what we think is selfishness, the mice are it's not thinking about me, just seeing myself in the center and being aware so much of what's going on around me in order to change myself, meaning even though it's called centering and looking only on myself, the mice I'm looking and I'm trying to connect all the things around me, not only people, but things around me, in order to connect. So it's not like not talking to people. It means I'm connecting by putting myself in the center to connect with everyone in my source.
It's a lack of awareness. It's a lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness.
Is it that I'm trying to connect to someone and then I have to face myself because I realize I can't connect to them by being myself. But
every time you want to connect to somebody yourself, you have to find the common denominator. You have to find the common denominator. Also talk the way that sometimes you have things messed up by yourself. And ready to listen to the other one that actually is right, and the other one has to listen to me, and we work it out. But if from all on my own, it ain't getting worked out. But if you want to understand from where this all starts, what was his name?
Is it the rotten to connect to people that drives me to do my work? Is that what the Rebbe is saying?
I want to start with another step further. Let's get back from the creation. Let's get all back to where we come from, right? Okay. So we have to come back from where we come from. Actually, all of Betzoina Haposhat Liva Oilim, that's where we're coming from. Because Baruch Hu wanted to create the world. In order to make a creation, and there should be a creator and a creation, that's called a boyer and a niver, there has to be a certain distance. If the creation and the creator are the same, the creator is Ein Sof and the creation is Ein Sof, then there won't be a creation that's recognizing the creator. So Kodesh Baruch Hu made something called tzimtzum. Tzimtzum, that means he minimized the Ein Sof, which we're not going to go into it, and which is called in one word, the Kodesh Baruch Hu created the Torah. Kodesh Baruch Hu created Chochmah, Reise me Chochmah. He created the Torah. From the Torah, actually, is the whole creation. First, there was a Torah more spiritual, till it came down to this Torah that we see it right now into words and into materialism, into. Okay. Now the Torah itself, take a Torah, Sefer Torah. That Yud, the Os, Beis, the first Os, you can't put there an Aleph, you can't put there a Gimel. If you put an Aleph or Gimel there, then the Torah Sefer Torah is Puslis. That means the Beis is a Beis. But the Beis without the whole rest of the Torah is also nothing. That means in the creation, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, he gave everybody his unique koiches, his unique foundations, unique that he has to fight with, everything that is unique, how to bring about the Ribbono Shel Olam in this world, we'll call it, called Pol Hashem Lamaneu. He gave everybody his job here. Nobody can do the job for me, and I cannot do the job for anybody. I can only give you the way how to do the job, but at the end of the day, you have to do that job. So when we start as a whole, and they put us into part, as long as I'm only busy with myself and don't get to myself to the whole, I'm not getting to myself, and I'm not getting to the whole, and the whole will be suffering, and I'll be suffering more.
Why can't you be getting to yourself?
Because
You're getting to the base.
Right, but the base is not a base without the Reish Aleph Shin, all the oisies there. You take a Sefer Torah, write a base, you can't.
Still a base.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not the Torah. The Torah has to be connected. The Maggid from Mezritch even says not only the base is a base. If I say that the Ein Sof made a base, so there is Ein Sof in the base. But when the base is connected to everybody. But if the base is disconnected to everybody, it might be everything in there, but it's like a ball, it's not a be'er. You have everything in there. So the Gemara says, the Pusik said, Ir Ktanu, the Torah is an Ir. Ir means a city. Ktanu means small. Anushim bo ma'at, very little people. So the Prior says, make up your mind. Anushim bo ma'at is not an Ir, it's not a city. It's a village. It's a village. And if you say it's Ir, so why do you say Ktanu? Why do you say Anushim bo ma'at? It says the Torah itself is a Ir. The Torah itself is Omik Torah Hashem Temimu. The Torah is there, everything is in there, nothing missing. But in the creation of before he wanted there should be a creation, he had to do all kinds of limitations that each one of us, let's say, has in himself the ear, but Anushim bo ma'at, we don't connect ourselves back to the ear, we don't connect ourselves back to the Torah Hashem Temimu. Everybody living on his own, Memele, he has a whole, he's learning Torah, he has the ear, and he's not, but he's not connected. That means in order to get my personal koiches to be connected to everybody and to be connected to myself, which is myself that is also everybody, then I can be, then I get my freshness, I get my ischachus. But as long as I sit all together alone, I cannot be myself. I cannot. So again, it's not self-centered. Because self-centered means he's not ready to connect to anybody. He doesn't want to hear about anything. And at the end of the day, he's not getting anywhere because it's like a ball mine that at the end of the day, he doesn't find himself. He has everything, he has nothing. Another person can have nothing, has everything.
Does the Rebbe mean, because my understanding, that a person sees all the people around him that he can't connect to because of his own drek as sibus to connect to Hashem, to realize that he could connect to everyone because he can't connect to everyone without connecting to Hashem?
So Rusha said we have two measurements to see if a person is on the derech or not. One is pressure. When you're under pressure, that means you're not connected to yourself.
I'm out.
Huh?
I'm out.
Now too?
I'm out.
Now too?
No.
Okay, I'll talk to you
Two
right at
cups of
night.
whiskey. I'm
Give me
out.
l'chaim.
Fine.
L'chaim.
Scotch works.
Number two, if you cannot connect to people. Because these two... What? Half an hour?
Now I'm in.
Now you're in. That means a person can all the time test himself where he is. Connecting, if I'm in stress, lachatz as they call it, there's nobody home. They say that the Rob Shetzuf saw somebody, he was like, Shamni, Bogadni, Gazalni, was banging, stop banging on the door, there's nobody home, he said. That is, if you're not there, just doing it, just because everybody's doing it, it's not there. Then there is the being connected to people. The connection, there's anybody that I cannot be connected with, even though I'm right. Even though I'm right not to be connected. I have all kinds of, comes the Piyuritz, it tells us that anyone, if there's any yid that you cannot be connected to yourself, is even worse than the biggest trush, if you're ready for that one. The Piyuritz, the Mendel of the Tevska, the Sefer Piyuritz, Parshas, if there's anybody, Afil Erisha Yisroel, that you're not able to connect to him, then you're worse than even a Rusha.
connect them how? Like on any level? To talk about.
We're talking about the connection, minimum connection. We're not talking about getting married.
H plus, not 5G.
I'm not talking about
What does it mean? I can recognize
being
the
mishadach.
mindless,
There was
or I
a
cannot
there was
be
a
angry?
Rebbe that called everybody a tzaddik, a tzaddik, a tzaddik, a tzaddik. Someone really a low life came into him. The Rebbe told him tzaddik, tzaddik, tzaddik. So he tells them, oh, I'm a tzaddik, you're a tzaddik, I have a son, you have a daughter, maybe we're a mishadach. Shadichim, you're going to do what tzaddikim as you are, and I'll do shadichim like tzaddikim that I am. But tzaddik means we're connected. That we have to know tzaddik, sod olam means the connection. If there's a connection, the foundation of the world is working. If there is no connection, automatically the thing goes sour.
Ad kedei kach, you could be a person, you could recognize their mindless, and still they bring up all the dreck in you because I realize that I have, that separate me from that guy. I can say I judge them and I judge them and I struggle with them.
As we said again, there are things that you have to be you. The things that he has to be he, and the things that we can connect. I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it at another level. Because everybody of us here, what makes the difference between all of us? We all have 4 foundations that puts us together. It's called Eish, Mayim, Ruach, and Offer. These 4 foundations keep us separated. Why? Everybody has Eish, everybody has Mayim, everybody has Ruach, everybody has Offer. Offer is when you're in a matzav of down. Eish is when you're in a matzav of fire. Ruach is when you're, as I said before, as you said.
Spiritual?
No, self-centered.
Self-centered. Egocentric?
Narcissism?
Narcissism is Ruach. And then you have Mayim. You want to be connected all the time, just like Mayim. That means we have all those 4 koiches within ourselves. All these 4 koiches within ourselves are not set together, but everyone the same. There are people with a little more Eish, a little more Mayim. That means the 4 are all the whole universe. Everybody has its connection. How to connect? That means there is no way in the world that we can connect, be 100% connected. But I ask a better question: how do you get Eish and Mayim together?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get Ruach and Offer together? If we're set off of Eish and Mayim, either the Eish will put out. Bring out the water, or the water will put out the Eish, or the Ruach will blow away the Ufa won't let the Ruach go through.
It's Makas Barad.
Huh?
Makas Barad, the Shamayim. They have a Parshas.
So how does that happen? So he says that Ari Morabi Masechu Hashem Kulam B'chochma Osisu. If we come back to the creation, as I said before, the first creation was the Torah. But it was no Os Yud, Os Beis, Os Gimel. It was in a spiritual way, it was there, but it wasn't there in a materialist way. In spiritual, you can have everything there, but everything can be included one to another. That means the more a person goes into a spiritual level, Chochma, Eish, and Mayim, and Ruach HaUfa are not against one another. They're there for the king, and the king, in the king they're all one. But as long as we go away from there, then they become separated. So that means this that I cannot connect to you and you cannot connect to me is because I'm in my place and you're your place. In order for me to connect, we have to go out of ourselves. I'm going to explain how you do it. Then you go out of yourself in a more spiritual way. In that spiritual way, we can't connect. Even you are Eish and I'm Mayim, and I'm Mayim, you're Eish.
Do I have to aim with my focusing on myself and connecting to the Abishah until I'm seeing everyone like the Barditchev? There's some people that are very, very Eish and I'm very Mayim or whatever it is.
Again, I didn't say Barditchev. I said connecting to everybody.
A little bit.
I didn't say Barditchev. If you want,
was
I
power.
cut out the
but
seed after level 1.
the Torah says v'haftu le'acha k'moicha. That's the biggest problem. The Torah says v'haftu le'acha k'moicha. What does v'haftu le'acha k'moicha mean? How can I love him if I don't love myself? But I'm one with him, he's one with me. I go this way and he goes that way. This is down here, but in the source, we're actually one. I'm not more than him, he's not more than me.
No. What's the source? What is it? What is the source?
The Rebbe asking me to take it all the way back to the source or stop somewhere short.
What is the source?
The source So yeah, no.
I would
the
love it. It would be good.
I want to know when I'm going to go see D about it, about the derech.
Now.
What?
OCD.
This comes with the time, yeah. He has it now. Sure, Shlomo has it already. Well, one second, I am not. We'll get him there. I don't want to get you off track. I want to get you in track.
What's the makor? What is the source?
We should scream Shabbos or not?
What?
We should say scream Shabbos or not?
לצעוק Shabbos, רכבים שעוברים, לצעוק או לא לצעוק.
So you're saying about Shabbos. So suddenly you go on the street, you see somebody saying Shabbos, and you start yelling Shabbos on how it goes here and Aleph. So there are places that do that too, yeah? So the Bush was once going in the street with the Chavein, going back from the Feld, down Saka, going back to where he lives, to Machlaot, the small streets there. And he went through a place, there was a woman standing outside, and she was combing her hair. She was going on the way to Shul, and she was using a comb, which, on Shabbos, there's a little problem how to do that. And so the guy said Shabbos. So the Rusha told him, you think the lady knows what Shabbos means, and you think the lady knows that she's not supposed to comb on Shabbos? You really think that she wants to comb on Shabbos and you're not supposed to do that? I can promise it's already 10 generations that she gets every Shabbos goes to the shul, and she has to comb herself, and she doesn't know there's something wrong with it. But if you want to do something with it, then I'll tell you what to do with it. How come that HaKadosh Baruch Hu bring you here right now, here to go by exactly when she's combing herself? When you don't do such things, how come you just let you see? You don't want to see this. You don't want to be in that matzah. Because Baruch Hu brings you into that matzah in order to see that not in that matzah, it's not something that you had b'chir to do it. You put yourself into a vicinity, into where you are, and you're doing it already according to where you are. There's a whole shmitz when I can't go away there. נכדי that speaks about b'chir, if you remember. B'chir, he says, where a person puts himself, he doesn't have any b'chir anymore. He's doing it automatically. That means she is doing whatever she's doing without even knowing she's doing wrong. You're doing whatever you're doing, you never picked to do it. But I want you should have b'chir. You should have b'chir that you didn't put yourself there, I put yourself there. If I would put you in the same place that she is, you wouldn't have known such a thing. You're not supposed to do that on Shabbos. So when you're not machal Shabbos, you think that you're baruch with that. You didn't baruch. I was the one that put you in that place. So you're connecting that now you're the Shem Shabbos, I'm the Shem Shabbos. So the same Shabbos that you're doing is being connected to myself only through seeing someone that is not connected to Shabbos. And when you see somebody that gets you angry, actually what's behind it? I would have never done that. When you see somebody that you cannot connect to him, is usually something that aggravates you. How could people do such things? But at the end of the day, you're right, but you're not connecting to, you're not doing with it anything. But once you see that the other person has to do that in order to see that I'm not better than him, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu wouldn't watch me and put me in my stage, I would have been worse than him. So then I turned over, I became Ba'achdis, he calls us Achdis and Tefillah. Achdis, I became with him one, and Tefillah, I'm actually turning over the din and the lachatz and the separation into Rachamim to Tefillah. Never, he has to be that way because of me, so I turn over the whole thing, and suddenly that other person starts thinking, without me talking to him, something starts clicking in himself. Well, 1 second, maybe there's something wrong here.
Why because of
That means that the whole
Why
world
is
is
he saying because of me?
going around.
Never if that person's like that because of me, Mateshem.
Okay, so we have to go back again to the creation. Creation of the world. Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world through Oisis HaTorah, and everybody has his Oisis HaTorah. That means that everybody is a Olam HaKutim. The whole Torah is within everybody. That's the reason why we can hold on to the Torah. How do you hold on to the Torah? Because you're yourself Torah. One Torah and another Torah you can put. That means you can put one Torah on another Torah. That means Torah and Torah go together. Now what happened with the Amshach of the creation? Things didn't go accordingly, not by mistake, but when people didn't see the Rabbanu Shalom, they were disconnected. Disconnected brought something which is called Vayomis. We call it in Kabbalah Shvir Sakelim. Shvir Sakelim doesn't mean the something that went broken, but sometimes you build a machine, a vending machine that you want to take out food, and the vending machine is working, but people are taking out the food without paying for it. So the vending machine working, but it's broken because it's not getting the tachlis that I made that vending machine. So actually what happened, the Bria Soilen was Dora Mabel, Dora Fluga, everything that we're going through, actually there was a shvira that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to destroy the world and make a new world and take the whole world and separate it. What was all that separation? HaKadosh Baruch Hu took out all the Goyim, all the ones that he felt that they're not for that, but he had to give them a certain chiyas, so he gave them certain parts of the Torah, oasis of the Torah. The Gemara says, "Pas tat ba'Afrika is time." The Torah says toy two fois, right? What is toy two fois? It means 4 parshas. Tat is 2, and there's some country that you call 2 tat, 2. And there's pas in Africa. In Africa they say pas 2 pat. And that we learn. That means, but actually, what is that? He says the whole Africa stands on 2 oases that they got it by our pagam. Now, when I'm missing those 2 oases, I have to get there on a flight that he's told me or something there, and to Africa to take out those 2 oases that I have to be connected there, and I won't be connected if I don't get there. That means everybody that I meet, where I meet them, wherever I meet them, there is, the Baal Shem Tov Kodesh says, whoever I meet, there must be some connection of oasis that I have to take him out. So if I'm angry at him, or I don't disconnect from him, or I don't connect to him, I'm the one that loses out.
Not nebuch 100% or not feeling guilty. It sounded like before that I should feel guilty.
Not nebuch guilty, no.
He's that way because of me.
Because of me.
Like there's a guilt going on.
Right, it is a guilt and not a guilt. Let's put it that way. Who was there? I was there. We were all there. We were all there. Rabbi Zisha asked Rabbi Melech, when you saw that the Udam is going to eat from the Etz Hadas, why didn't you choke him? Why should I choke him? Because we were all there. So actually, it is and isn't, right? But again, when you have that his dumbness, that opportunity to meet somebody, and you're actually hating him in those minutes, you're the one that's suffering. You're worse than any Rusha that he's doing something for himself, but he's not disconnecting. Can we start?
Can I ask you? Rabi mentioned about Bechira. I just had a hard time understanding it. Rabi said that the person sees someone else do Chal Shabbos. The person recognizes, like, okay, it's just that Kodesh Baruch Hu is holding me back from doing. But how does that fit in with? Yeah, I have, like Rabi said at the beginning, like I can't be lazy. I have to go. I have a Shabbos I have to do. I have to do my avoda. Where's the? I don't understand how the two fit together.
You ask me a question again, I'll understand what you're asking. Help me see. Shmulik zal verstaan wat zegt. Ask me again the question.
I don't understand the combination of I have a bechira and I have an opportunity to do something, and at the same time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who's giving me all the kochos that allow for me to do.
The question is, do I have bechira or don't have bechira? That's the question?
Yeah, if I have bechira, how does that...
Here I'm saying actually you don't have bechira. It's all set out and start doing what you have to do, so I don't have bechira, right? So I don't know, I sent it to us. The first meeting mine with Mordechai Zen was, he asked me what is with free will. I sent out one day a recording, I don't know if you have it somewhere. What is free will? He's asking right now, what is free will, if I'm right? Okay.
That's a question, no?
Yeah.
That's the question. What do we do with free will?
Combined with the comment that
we said that everything is set off from day one, and I just have to get into the line.
Rabi said, like, I'm keeping Shabbos. It's not me keeping Shabbos. Because Baruch Hu is giving me his Shabbos.
Meaning there is a idea that Hashem is telling you that's going to happen, and on the other hand, you need to take it a beer b'chir.
So we'll start off with Ramban. Ramban asks, that we find that after Chet Etz Hadas starts b'chira. Before Etz Hadas there was no b'chira. After Etz Hadas started Schar v'Oinish. Before Etz Hadas there was no Schar v'Oinish. Asked the Ramban, so what was there before that? If there was no b'chira, so what was going on before that? So it says before that we were just like the galaxy, the moon, the kechuvim. They don't have any b'chira. They're set out with a Shabbos Zayga, as we say, and it's running on off. Same thing. The human being was running according to Sibis. The Badichur says, Avrum Avinu told him, Lechlechu, Me'atzchu, Me'ladchu, Eluas Ashereku. Did he ever tell him where to go? We don't find where he told him where to go. So where did he go? He came out of the street. Someone told him, listen, I'm going to the Mediterranean. You want to come along? Yeah, why not? Let's go here. I'm going right. I'm going to Ashkelon. I'm going here. And that's the way he got there. That means the same thing Claudius went out of Mitzrayim because it took him 40 years. And that means we lived like the galaxy, they don't decide what to do. There's someone that decides every time what to do. Comes the Nochosh and tells the Udam, the only difference between the Udam and the whole creation was that he has Chachma bin Adas. He can think about things. All the rest are just doing it as robots, we call it. They can talk, they can think. It's a little more emotional, but at the end of the day, they don't have b'chira, we call it. And the person has b'chira, and comes along with Nuchash, listen, you have b'chira, you have something very precious. Start doing something that you want to do, free will, as we call it. So he says, what can I do? So he tells him, how about eating from the tree that Kosh Baruch Hu told you not to eat from there? And that way, you'll see, he tells you no, your will is yes, so you have free will. Okay? So he ate from the Etz Hadas, then he messed it up. How did he mess it up? He got b'chira. When he got b'chira, before that, there was clear by him that he doesn't have any b'chira. And any time he wanted to do b'chira, he had an instinct that told him he's not in the right way. Just like any animal won't go into fire. Why go into fire? He has free will. But because Baruch Hu put him into it, that he should burch what he has to be burch. That means the same thing. We lost our b'chira the minute we. That means that means the minute. What was I? That means the minute you had b'chira, you have to come back to the stage of before that you don't have b'chira. But I lose you. Again. What does it mean? Before that we didn't have b'chira. We had a b'chira. We didn't have b'chira because we were just like the galaxy, that they have to do what Kosh Baruch Hu wants. But in my knowledge, we knew that we have b'chira. But we're ready to live the way Kosh Baruch Hu wants us to live. Comes the Nuchash and says, but try once. He explains very nice. The Michtav Maliyur explains, a person smokes and decides, a person that smokes decides one day, at night, he doesn't feel good, he's coughing and this, and he decides one day, quitting smoking. You know what that means? You don't smoke? He used to smoke. One day, decides he's not smoking. Gets up in the morning, today I'm not smoking. Goes by 2 hours, and something starts tickling there that He has to smoke. But he decided not to smoke. But it's tickling him. But it's going to hurt him if he's going to smoke. It won't feel good at night. But I can't. Suddenly he has, doctors say, up to 4 cigarettes a day is not gefährlich. So we'll take only 1 cigarette. So then he took 1 cigarette. Does he have bchira anymore? Doesn't have bchira anymore. That means once I went into taking that etzadas, I lost my bchira. So now I have to really decide that I don't have bchira. Because before that I had a bchira that I don't have bchira. Right now, even that I don't have bchira, I also have to be boicher right now, because I've tasted something from it already, and then automatically, if I'm not going to ask the Rebbeinu, you give me the bchira, I'll always go back to smoking again. Doesn't work? Well, 3rd time, no problem. Just ask him why you're not with me.
I thought the whole the Bechira idea to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's the most important thing that the Bechira remains in the world.
Right. But the Bechira is to recognize Das Hashem Elokai Adecha V'Avdai. That's the Bechira. The Bechira is connect yourself to the Baruch Shalom through that I know that I cannot rely on myself. If I want free choice, I don't have free choice. When I'm disconnected, it's my body that's giving me the choice. And I'll never be able to choose what's the right thing. I'll always have to choose what my body asks me. The only way I can choose what's good for me or what's right for me is when I connect myself to a bunch of she's cool or emes. Then that's the only bechira that I have. That means I'm taking the choice the way the Torah wants me to do it. I'm taking the choice to connect into the Rebbeinu Shalom. Then there it is. I gave you a choice. Chaim, v'toiv, moves, v'ra. Chaim v'toiv is the neshama, which is toiv. Moves is the body, which is ra. Now bichartu. How can I choose? I think okay. How can I choose? If I choose body, I didn't choose body. I'm in the body. If I choose the neshama, I'm body. How am I going to choose this? The Baruch Shem says, choose b'chaim. Go to the one that created this whole body and whole chaim. That means you're going into the spiritual part of the chaim, the spiritual part of the goof. Then actually you are boicher that you're not boicher.
That choice is a choice.
Let's go another one more step. Outside here in the staircase, there's a box from the electric company with a yellow sign on it, and danger, don't touch. Yeah, you know the Israelis don't listen to that, you know. And that's when the trouble starts. Suddenly the apartment gets burnt. That means in order to use electricity the way it is, you have to go according to the electricity that you were given, and don't tamper with that box. That means as long as you be connected to the electric company, they'll always, when you need more fuses, they'll give you more. You need less, they'll give you less. But go through the procedure. You want free will to do what you want. At the end of the day, you're going to burn yourself. Comes clear. Another Muslim.
So can I attempt?
Yeah, keep on going. You're helping me.
My default is guf, which means
my default is my tools that I can work with to get to the Muslim, which I'm all time busy getting rid of those defaults, and I don't have that those defaults are the what giving me that I have to find for my ish shleimut, for my not shleimut, my not wholeness. For my default, I can find the shleimus of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. But if I would be shleimus, I would be with no default. I would have never found the Rebbeinu Shalom.
My default is the ish shleimus.
My default is ish shleimus, because everything that was in the creation, right from day one, is ish shleimus. The only one that's shleimus is a Kodesh Baruch Hu Melech Shashulam Shaloi. even the Malach is not Shleimus as a Kodesh Baruch Hu. Nobody here is Shleimus. But as long as I recognize my Shleimus, then I can connect to the Shleimus. But if I think that I'm Shleimus, then I'm off track. Let's put it this way. Busha said, what is emes? Emes is Rosh Tevis Ani Meshaker Tamid. That means as long as I'll live that I'm the truth, there's no place for the Rabbanu Shalom here. But once I know that how much true I am, there's always something not true in me. Why? Because the only one is Shem Lekechem, he's the only one that's emes, I won't connect.
So therefore, if you look at the Caleb ben Yefun and Yeshua ben Nun, they went with the Meraglim on the test.
But they saw they were dangerous. So when the minute was dangerous, what did Caleb do?
Let them go. In other words,
he didn't fight
even
them.
when you're going with the MS,
he didn't fight them. But everybody when goes something wrong, he has a certain feeling that something's wrong. But what? He feels that he can take care of it. So, and that's where he falls. He feels that he has b'chira. The Bush explains.
Say it again.
So when it's going wrong,
The Bush says that there's charuta and tshiva, and there's reshom aleim charuta. What is the difference? Both are regretting. In tshiva, we have to say, I regret that I did it. And reshom is maleim charutas. Where's the difference between them? If reshom are doing regretting, so they're not reshom anymore. If you say they're reshom, so how does regret work? The question says, what are you regretting about? You're regretting that you're a default? You're lying yourself. That's because Baruch created your default. But you're regretting that I didn't notice that I'm a default, and I had to need help from the Rabbanu to get me there. So I had to be Baruch that I cannot be pure. Then I would hear that he gave me this lady there to calm myself in order to see that I'm a default. If I'm not a default, he's keeping me going. Then every default that comes up, I'll always have something that will guide me how to get there.
So you should never try to do anything?
Try.
Now you're on the way. Now you started.
Try.
So you decided right now that once you know what, you want to run the show, do whatever you want, and let me out of this. Just let me when Mashiach comes. It doesn't work that way. We need you. Mashiach needs you. Don't ask what we need you is keep on trying, keep on. Bush called a soldier goes in the war. He gets a bullet in his foot, and he has to take out a knife and take out that bullet, and you say now take a shmata and turn around as is, and then start running further with his gun, because if he's going to start crying, he's going to get a bullet in his head too. So every time we fall, the Bush says, I fall and you fall. Everybody falls. The difference is, when I fall, I don't get broken that I fall. I understand I have to sharpen my in the army when something goes wrong, they get broken. They start learning where was the failure. That means David HaMelech said, that was his failure, that he thought that he can live without any chesronis, without any default. Because there is no such thing default. I'm the one that's without default. And through your default, you can recognize me. So then a person lives, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So we'll just finish off. We can start. I don't know.
Let's start again.
Start again. So we wanted to, what we talk on the phone, what gets us angry, usually, I don't want. At the end of the day, I don't want. So, probably, because Baruch said, you take out Yidden from Mitzrayim, and he says, nothing doing. Because Baruch tells him again, he says again, nothing doing. As we find this week, because Baruch tells for Moshe, go tell for Paro, it's not that you don't want. I'm the one that's telling you don't want. So as the purest, I don't understand. Paro is saying all the time, Mi Hashem. There is no such thing. So what does it mean? You're saying I don't recognize you. What? So what are you recognizing? I'm recognizing the teva, he calls it. What means recognize teva? I recognize that you created the world, and you said 5 seconds there, it didn't come out of something, some standard or something. You made it, but now you're out in pension, you gave it over to the needles, you gave it over to the fire, to the water, whatever it is, but you're not in the picture anymore. That's called, there is no hashgucha prutis, he calls it. So that was the fire here. That was the fight here. If there's hashgucha prutis, then we have all the time new opportunities, new scratches. We're never on the same place. But if he gave it over, then things are already machor mirosh. It's already from before. It's sold from before, and we're not going to change anything. But the Torah tells us we keep on changing. So where is the Kodesh Baruch Hu telling him? He wants to persuade him that there is hashgucha prutis. Says
Moshe is trying to persuade him?
Because Baruch Hu tells for Moshe, tell for Paro, tell him, boy el Paro kaniach baratis liba. He's bringing a raya. There is no God because he can go against him. Tell him that he's going against me. I'm the one that's turning him on to go against me. So how do you want to persuade him that there is a God? So the pure is, there are two ways to see the Rabbanu Shlomo. Ramban says if there's mofsim, there's miracles, something goes wild. That was the Eisa Makis. Well, everybody saw. Until today, we keep ourselves saying, Rabbanu Shlomo, you can change things very fast. But in day life, Rusha called it emuna pshuta. Emuna pshuta, without things going wrong. You're running a nation, you're running millions of people, the whole economy is around you, and you're busy with a few Ukrainians, you're busy with a few Jews there. And you're ruining your country, you're ruining the whole world, you're ruining everything. Chap yourself, you're doing something wrong. The guy doesn't chap. The Rabbanu Shlomo, you don't think that it's me? So you'll be able to find me dafka from where you think you're running the show, and then you're going to see that you're not running the show. So he says, David HaMelech says, Hashemayim mesaprim kvoid keil. Never heard him. Ever heard him talk? Ever heard of Hashemayim mesaprim? So he says, yeah. As we said before, if you're going to do the same thing all the time, you're going to be manatanis. It goes. The teva, which you call teva, is doing the same thing already 5,753 years. The sun is coming up every calendar day for the last 5,753, on the same hour, same second, same half a second. Can you do things today and tomorrow the same thing teva? Elamai, that's the biggest side that it's not teva. There must be somebody behind that. That means whenever things go that you feel that you are controlling and it's going against your common sense, there's something wrong there. So there you can recognize the Rabbanu Shlomo in a minute shooter. Busha says a person has 10 children. 9, he's going along, he knows how to get a night to them. The 10th one he doesn't go. So what is he doing? He wants to get rid of that 10th one. Why? 9 businesses, 10 doesn't go. He wants to get rid of that business that doesn't go. He only wants the ones that is success. But you see that success is ruining your success. That means from there that you want the way you want it, that I gave you that koyach that you should want the way you wanted it. Because of Echet Etzadas, you got b'chir. Now I want you to come back. This 10th one, or this lady there that's standing and coming, showing you that you don't have any b'chir, and that I sent you there. That is the way you're going to be able to go out of Mitzrayim. And if Pari would cap that, he would be one of our shtatzim today in the Shiur. In the meantime, the Pari, everybody has his own Pari. Everybody has his own Pari. The Yodi Mitzrayim Kani Hashem, as the Baal Shem Tov. Who says Mitzrayim? What do we care about Mitzrayim? Everybody has his own Pari in there. The Yodi Mitzrayim. The Baditch Ruf said, I am a kind of pari. Why is he a kind of pari? Because in the skills of pari we have Leila Seder, we have mitzvahs, we have tzitzis, we have tefillin, we have all the mitzvahs around the Tzitzis Mitzrayim. Kol Tov Shkar.